Anytime. Get ready, get ready.
Good God afternoon. You have tuned into The Solutions with your host, Minister Corey Wright, on IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio station. And I want to welcome everyone. First, I would like to thank my sponsor today of the show. She should be calling in shortly. Her name is Matika Morgan. She is the owner and creator of ERA 16. As you all can see, I have one of her shirts on. It is the bomb. It is awesome. It shows off my muscles. So, please, try to control yourself, ladies out there. Even though I'm single, let me flex for you a little bit. But just want to say hello, everybody. As always, on this platform, we know what the problems are, and we know what we need to solve them. What I offer on this platform is solutions, dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talked about change. Also, we're looking for sponsorship and advertising. You can follow me on Twitter at Corey Joseph Wright on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram at Minister Corey Wright on Instagram, excuse me. And you can also inbox me on Facebook. You can also go to the show website, which is Corey Wright, Wix site.com/my site. You can leave all your information. You can also leave, as far as the show, information about if you want to be on the show. And you can also sponsor, and you can also donate. Anything and any help will be greatly appreciated. Before she call in, I just want to let you guys know on the solutions every Thursday is Speak Your Soul. And tomorrow we got, the last few Thursdays have been fire, but tomorrow we got an amazing, super enormous talent. And you definitely want to get that show. I'm telling you, he is going to make you think. He is going to raise that man up in you, that woman up in you that you want to be. He is going to do it. He is going to put something in your conscience that's going to carry you throughout. So while we wait on the call, I'm going to get it. Okay, we got the call coming in now. Caller, what's your name and state where you calling from?
My name is Matika Morgan, and I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
All right, you see, I got your shirt on. This is a bad, awesome shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one of the greatest talented young ladies I've ever met in my life. She is the creator and founder and owner of ERA 16, an amazing brand. ERA, go ahead. Era 16.
It's Era 16.
All right, Era 16. I am sorry. You see, I got your shirt on. I know you can see it. So let's start the interview out. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as I stated before, my name is Matika Morgan. I am the founder and the owner of Era 16. Definitely just trying to expand my brand and market it a little bit more. And just basically inspire people to step out on faith and live out their dreams and their passions.
Wow. Now, the name, give us a little history. How was you inspired to come by the name, and how did that come about?
Well, I work full-time at the airport, at Midway Airport, and I've come across so many different celebrities. And at the time, I was talking to Mel Jackson. He's a celebrity.
Right, Mel Jackson, light-skinned guy. Yes.
Yeah, and at the time I was actually doing another business venture. It was adult toys and parties, and I was talking to him about it, and he was asking me at that time, "What is my passion?" And I told him fashion was my passion, and he told me to stick to that because that alone was going to get me very far. So era means the time, place, something major that happened to you in that particular moment. And 16 stands for the year 2016, the birth of my passion.
Wow, that is beautiful. Okay, now, who were some of your inspiration? What was some of your inspiration in the past?
Well, I do love Kimora Lee clothes. I am a big fan of P. Diddy, and not so much of his clothes, but his entrepreneurship. So those are, and Oprah Winfrey as well. Those are some of the people that definitely inspire me to be the entrepreneur that I am.
Wow, I'm definitely a great fan of Oprah. Let everyone know she will be on the show Friday, and she will
Okay.
be showing some things off, and soon to be hopefully your own radio show. Because they don't know how great of a speaker you are. You are an amazing speaker. Okay, tell us a little bit about your brand. Tell us the products you offer, and also tell the people, because we got your website and everything up, but tell the people how they can buy it and how they can get in contact with you and the products you offer.
Well, I offer OD wear, so it's basic design to enhance your style. I offer hoodies, V-necks, joggers, basically the the clothing that fits right now what's going on the season. So you can definitely find me on Facebook, Instagram, and most definitely my website. You can see my clothes as well, era16.com.
Era16.com. Everyone's listening. Era16.com.
Yes,
Her
sir.
clothes is the bomb. I'm wearing it now. I was saying to the audience, your shirt makes me look like I got muscles. I've lost a
Okay,
lot of
okay.
weight, so I feel like I'm sexy. I mean, I know they're out there like, wow, is this Denzel really right here? A young Denzel. Oh my goodness. But
Well, like I said, Era 16 is designed to enhance your style, so you already had style. It
there
just
you
enhanced
go.
it.
Now, where do you see this going in the near future? Where do you see this going? What do you want? Where do you want your brand and everything to go?
Well, I want to be more than just a clothing line. I want to be a brand, and I want to be a household name as well. So I definitely want to expand my brand. I want to, in the future, have my own boutique, and just be well rounded in the fashion lifestyle, not just a clothing line. But I want to be a brand. I have some other things up my sleeve that's gonna expand Era 16.
Wow. Now, is it all right? Would do you want me to tell them about the chapstick?
Oh, you can, yes. I also heard about a tactic. It's called Moist by Era 16.
She's got a chapstick called Moist by Era 16. So anyone out there got crusty lips, you definitely want to get moist for Era 16, because it's like, wow, because you don't want to cut nobody's lips kissing them. So Moist from Era 16. That is amazing, amazing, amazing. I am so honored, and thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for being a part of the solutions. I am really, really grateful from the bottom of my heart for all your help.
Well, Corey, I thank you because this is giving me the opportunity to show other people that, everyone is not blessed to have a silver spoon. It just takes dedication, hard work, and wanting to be successful. So I definitely appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to hopefully inspire the next person. So I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Now, then she said inspire. What would you say to somebody out there listening right now who may be doubting themselves and don't believe dreams can come true, or believe that this is too big, or sometimes how people doubt themselves and say, well, this dream's like too big. What words of encouragement would you give them?
Well, I always say that you always have to step out on faith, and you always have to live out your dreams. And nothing beats a failure but a trier. So I definitely say that all the time. Or you have to live the life that is desired for you to have, and not just settle for anything that's given. So I definitely always encourage people to live out whatever dreams that they have, whatever it is, because you only have one life to live. So definitely live out those dreams, and don't be afraid of fear, because it's what fear is what's going to hold you back. Everybody gets fear. It's what you do after that. You can't allow things to hold you back because you're afraid of getting to the next level.
All right. Well, again, thank you for your sponsorship. Thank you for being on Solutions. Thank you for this interview. Let all viewers know I will see you Friday at 11 here, and we will be showing your information and showing your stuff throughout the show, so everybody can Go to your website and buy. People flood her website, buy everything she got. Buy it. It is worth it. It is great material. So, Matika, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for doing my show. I'll see you Friday, and God bless.
Thank you, Corey. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Wow, that was my special guest. She's amazing, amazing, amazing young lady. And the brand is awesome. Now let's get into a word from God that God gave me, and it's called "If You Keep Moving, God Will Set You Free." And it's the story about Lazarus, and the scripture references John 11:39 through 44. So many people are entrapped in tomb situations. So many people are in situations that's dead, that will not come back to life, and it's time for you to get out. And I know right now you might not hear from God, but just like in taking a test, sometimes the teacher's the most quiet when you're taking a test, because there's a lesson for you to learn. So there are right now, while you think God is quiet, just like Lazarus, he is moving a boulder. He's moving the thing that is blocking you. Before he raised you up, he's moving the thing that is blocking you. But now that he has moved the boulder, he's going to resurrect you. But you have to understand, in order to be resurrected, you have to die within yourself. And so many people don't want to die first before they're resurrected. Somebody wants the resurrection but still be alive. When Jesus heard that Lazarus was sick and they sent word to Jesus, Jesus waited additional 2 days. And the reason why is because God's timing is never our time. And it doesn't matter when Jesus arrives on scene, being who he is a shifter. Now let me stay right there. No matter what your situation is, and no matter what you're going through, if you got Jesus, you are an immediate shifter. That means you don't have to accept anything the way it is. You can walk into it and shift it. You know, the law of association says either you're going to become like what you're around, either you're going to change it. So I'm talking to all the changes right now, that if you change, your situation would change and everything else would change. So when Jesus heard that Lazarus was sick, Jesus came 2 days later. And Jesus spoke to his sisters. He spoke to Martha. He spoke to Mary. And then he said, show me where you laid him. See, he didn't worry about what his situation was. He said, show me where you laid him. So Jesus ordered the people that buried him to move the stone. And let me just tell some people out there words of encouragement. The people that buried you in your situation, God is going to use those same people to release you out of it. Let me say that again. The people who buried you in your situation, they wrote you off for dead. They thought you were dead, you were buried, that you were stinking, you were gone. Jesus said, I'm going to make them move the stone. The reason why he made them move the stone, because he knew he can raise Lazarus from the dead. But in order for God to raise you up, you cannot have an agenda. You cannot have a plan. You must die within yourself. That's the only way he can resurrect you. You cannot do God's plan your way. You have to do God's plan his way. So if you're doing his plan your way, you will always fail. But if you're doing it his way, he will make provision for the vision. Let me say that again. He will make provision for the vision. So you must die within yourself. Jesus first prayed to his Father. And he said, Father, I know you hear me. Right there, we start praying to God, and the first thing we do is we jump into something and we say, God, do this for me. God, do that for me. God, do this for me. God, do that for me. Without even acknowledging him, without even thanking him. He said, Father, I know you hear my prayers. And I know you will hear my prayers. He goes from gratitude to faith. There's no doubt in his mind. I'm going from one point to the next. I'm going to be grateful for what I got, but I'm going to have faith that more is coming and that you are going to hear more. So he said, I know you hear my prayers. He said, I do this for the benefit of those that don't believe. Now, I've said it many times on the show, and I'm going to say it again. There is nothing you do. There is nothing you've ever done in your life has been for your own benefit. It's always been for the benefit of others. God even saved you to bless somebody else, for you to be a roadmap for somebody to come to Him. You're the person. That's what I always say all the time. It'll make a difference what your title is. It makes a difference if you're saved. What makes a difference is who's been saved because you've been saved. So for the benefit of those that believe, never take the process personally. It's always for the benefit of those that believe. That when you pray, it's for the benefit of others. Just like I said about Job, we know the story of Job very well. But do you know when God restored everything to Job, it was when Job prayed for somebody else. Job prayed for somebody else in a bad state. And sometimes you have to pray for somebody else in order for God to answer your prayers. Because sometimes you have to make it about somebody else instead of yourself. So he said, for the benefit of those that don't believe, so they'll know that you sent me. So what he did was raising Lazarus for the benefit. So even when you're young, you got kids, you're doing it for the benefit of them. You're taking care of them so they can grow up to be strong men and women of God, strong men and women of purpose, and be strong providers. So everything you're doing for the benefit of others. So never take the process personally. He said that I am going to do this so they'll know that you send me. Now, you have to have confidence in God. You cannot have a service mentality, or you can't have a non-belief. The Bible says a way-to-be Christian will get nothing. You will not accomplish anything. A double-minded Christian is double-minded in all his ways. So you have to be confident. Jesus said with a loud, confident voice, Lazarus, come forth. Here's the thing about Lazarus. Lazarus was still in grave clothes. Lazarus was still in grave clothes. Now, I want you to really get this point. Lazarus couldn't see. And Lazarus was bound by grave clothes. He had a napkin that was an inch thick on his face, so Lazarus couldn't see. So we can always see a miracle, but can we hear one? See, we always want to go by what we see. But the thing was, Lazarus had faith, and he went by what he heard. See, even though he couldn't see, even though he was still in the tomb, and even though he was still bound by his situation, he heard the voice of God. He had faith to keep moving. Now, Lazarus didn't worry about what was connected to him or what was on him. He had to get close to the king. And as he kept walking towards Jesus, stuff started to get looser, and stuff started to get looser. So what am I saying? The closer you get to Jesus, stuff gotta fall off. The closer you get to the master, the closer you get to the miracle, the closer you get to God, things have to fall off. So Jesus didn't go in the tomb. Now, one thing is for Lazarus to be in a tomb, but one thing is for you to settle for the tomb and go lay it with him. So this is to all those people that's in dead relationships, dead situations, dead end jobs, and dead places. One thing is for you to be dead in it, but another thing is for you to be alive in that dead situation. Something ain't gonna work, because no matter how alive you is, if you're in a dead situation, then your thoughts, your personality, your experience is going to be dead. If you don't change your mind, you're going to recycle your experiences. So I don't care how much you change your mind. If you're still in a tomb of a situation, you're still going to deal with tomb issues. You're still going to be wrapped up in grave clothes, and you're still not going to go anywhere. Understand that Jesus didn't go through the trouble of moving that block for you to remain in the tomb. I'm gonna tell you, Jesus didn't save you for so many things just for you to remain in that same situation. Jesus didn't deliver you from drugs. He didn't deliver you from alcohol just so you could hang around alcoholics and drug addicts. He did not save you from gangbang or save you from that bullet just for you to hang out on the street and still gangbanging. He did not remove that person out of your life just so you can go right back to him and deal with the same thing. People, wake up to your tomb situations. Understand that some situations, some people are dead situations, and Jesus is calling you to come out. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to hurt. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be wrapped with some things from that relationship. But if you come out further enough You get close enough to Jesus, I guarantee you he'll set you free. And that's the message today, that when you get close enough to God, when you come out of your tomb of a situation, because he can't set you free, because sometimes God got to see how bad you want it. See, so many times we always want somebody to do something, but sometimes you got to see how bad you want it. I told a young lady that about a relationship. Person told me, well, you kind of tough. Okay, it's good to be tough when I'm there, but what happens when nobody is there to be tough? Because nobody said love will be easy, and love is not going to always be easy. Sometimes things are tough. We always have a reality, and we always have a plan. But plan is just to do it easy. But the reality is you have to go through some stumps and bumps. You have to go through some bad situations. But you have to also realize that you cannot go back inside of that tomb. God is calling you out of it. So identify, because it's nothing wrong with leaving a dead place. It's nothing wrong, especially when you're alive. And when Jesus calls you, see, Lazarus was dead. They said he'd been in there 4 days. He's stinking. And there are some people that's rotten in their situations. They're their own worst enemy outside the devil. I will not change. I will keep doing the same thing. They're stinking in. But Jesus is calling you today. And not saying that you're going to get rid of the grave clothes immediately he called you. But if you keep moving, they're going to fall off. When Lazarus came out of the tomb, hear this. When Lazarus came out of the tomb, Jesus said, set him free. He said, set him free. When Lazarus walked out of his dead situation, he said, set him free. But he made sure that Lazarus, because see, Lazarus displayed faith. Because Lazarus couldn't see where he was, but he knew where he wasn't supposed to be. And there are some situations that don't feel right, that you have to have an instinct. God gives you the Holy Spirit, which gives you an instinct and discernment towards people. And I met let me just say this sidebar. I was at a friend of my house, my tax preparer, one of my best friends, an amazing woman of God. And God gave me something about this young lady. I never met her, but he showed me her life, that it literally looked like a bunch of people was holding on to her back. And she is the sweetest young lady I've ever met in her life. And she is a wonderful person, but she is so bound by people riding her back that she's faking it. She's faking it. She's in a tomb of a situation and she's smiling in it. And the question is, how many people are in a dead situation, a tomb of a situation, in a dead place, smiling about it? Because, see, understand, there was nothing else in the tomb that woke up but Lazarus. Oh, that's a good one. See, you might be the only one in your house that wake up. You might be the only one in your job that wake up. You might be the only one in your circle of friends that wake up. And when Jesus wakes you up, I'm sorry, you love him, but I got to go. I got to go because the king is calling me. I got to go. He called my name. Like Pastor Robert Sams preached last Friday, he called my name. So if he called your name, you got to go. And people, God, don't worry about who you leaving in the tomb. Don't worry about what you leaving in the tomb, because it was a dead situation from the beginning. Jesus told Lazarus to come forth. But here is the thing that, and you go further in the chapter, Jesus said to his disciples before he rose Lazarus, this sickness will not end in death. When you die within yourself, you have not ended. Even when you end this life, you're going to another life eternally, even heaven and hell. You're going somewhere. But when you end that, your life will not end in sickness. So what is Jesus saying? Jesus is saying that you will not die where you are, that you will be resurrected right where you are. And you don't have to travel. You don't have to go to a bunch of places. You don't have to do all this. You have to just hear Jesus and keep walking. Never, ever, ever give up. Never stop trying. Never stop believing. Lazarus, now, here's the thing. Lazarus couldn't move forward because he was tied up. He couldn't move fast. He could move forward, but he couldn't move fast. Some people believe that little progress is not a lot. Any progress, it takes you from where you've been at to where you want to go. You're closer than you was. You're closer today. Even if you fall on your face, you're still moving forward. If you got to crawl, if you got to walk, if you got to fly, you just keep on moving. You will have victory. You will make it. Lazarus couldn't move forward, but he kept moving. And as he kept moving, things kept falling off. You got to keep moving. That tomb is not a place. It's not a place for the living. I don't know why everybody want to call me when I'm on the radio, but it's okay. It is not a place for the living. And here's something, especially you have dreams. Let me talk about this point. I'm going to talk about dreams. Some of you have buried your dreams, your admirations, and your goals in a tomb. But I'm here to tell you today, Jesus moved the boulder from your dreams. He moved the boulder from your abilities. Some people have buried in that tomb want to be marriage. Some people have buried business ideas in that tomb. Some people have buried people in that tomb. But let me tell you, even though it went in there dead, God gonna bring it out alive. Even though you put it in there, because you're never too old and there's never a circumstance that can keep you from what God has you. You can just be delayed, but Satan cannot stop you. He cannot stop what God. And if you believe that everything happens according to God's plan for your life, that all things work good for you, where you're supposed to be. Because there's sometimes you got to learn. See, Lazarus knew what it was to be in the tomb, but he didn't want to go back. Even though he went back one day, but he didn't want to go back that day. Jesus said, turn him loose and set him free. He didn't just say turn him loose, because some of you turn people loose, but you haven't set them free. Oh, I hit something there. I hit something there, especially the people that keep going back to them bad relationships, keep going back to them bad things, keep going back to the alcohol. I turned it loose for this week, but then I'm going to go pick up something else. Or you know what, I don't do drugs, but I still smoke weed. Or you know what, I don't eat pork no more, but I'm eating a whole lot of beef. You just turn something to loose, but you ain't set it free. Jesus today, people of God, wants to turn. He's going to turn you loose, but he's going to set you free. Because when he sets you free, he takes the weight of the situation. Lazarus kept walking. But let's talk about some things that you are in a dead situation from. We all know that sometimes we're in a tomb of a situation when it comes to finances. That we keep burying our money. We keep burying our money in alcohol. We keep burying our money in things we don't need, some clothes we don't need. We keep burying our money in people. We keep giving everything to everybody and not giving anything to ourselves. We keep burying what God gives us. And God is like, why do you keep burying everything I'm giving you? I'm trying to set you free. I'm trying to raise you from your dead state and set you free. Loose him and set him free. But you got to stop doing drugs. Is another tomb of a situation. It's another dead situation. I reiterate that some relationships are dead situations. Some jobs. Thank God for my job. I truly thank God for my job. But I want to do radio full time. And I'm praying that this year I do radio full time. This is my business. This is what I love to do. This is what I have a passion to do. So I thank God for that. But I know that my job right now is as far as I can go working. My job right now is a tomb of a situation for me, because what I make for a living, I can never go and start at no other job, no other way. For what I'm making overtime, what I do. So I know that I have reached the tomb in my job. So the only thing that I can do is to be my own business owner and to do what I love to do, which is radio. And some of you all have reached the tomb of a situation, and it's time for you to come out. And don't worry about that. If you come out still got grave clothes on, because when you get to Jesus and you get close enough to Jesus, He is going to set you free. He's waiting on you to keep moving close enough to him. It could be in the church, so you got to find a circle. It could be going on your knees and praying, but you got to move closer to Jesus, because if you keep staying where you are, you will always be bound. You will be a live person in a dead situation, and there's nothing worse. See, one thing is to be dead in a situation, and you're dead, but one thing is to be alive in a dead situation, and everybody can't go out of the tomb with you. Some people, some things remain in the tomb. It has to remain in the tomb. It don't mean that that you're not grateful. And it doesn't mean that, but it does mean that some of those dead situations need to remain in the tomb. So what am I saying to you today? And today, normally I'm full of fire, and I'm full of fire today, but today I want to inspire people to walk out of that tomb, to walk towards Jesus today. And listen, be your own rescue. Because you're more valuable to people if you walk out of that tomb. Because for all those people waiting on you outside of that tomb, if you remain in that tomb, they're waiting out there. But God is calling you. He is calling you. So today, I want to say, and I want to make sure I appeal to your thinking, that God has moved away the stone. Today is the day, not tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. We thank God for a lease on life today, but don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. Today is the day for change, and it's gonna hurt. Don't think walking out, because right now walking out of that tomb is a faith, because you cannot see Jesus, you only can hear him. And you might not see Jesus in your situation now, but you got to keep walking out of that tomb. If you walk further enough, you will be set free, but you got to want to come out of that tomb. You got to want to come out of that tomb. You got to want to come out of it. Jesus did all the work. He's already moved what was blocking you. He's already called you. Now he's just waiting on you. He's just waiting on you to decide to come out of that tomb. And again, how do you know you're in the tomb? Let me identify that. I wrote that down. How do you know you're in the tomb? Okay. You know you're in the tomb when you talk about the same thing daily. Your job becomes the topic of your conversation and not your dreams. Everything that happens to you every day, all day is never. How many times I got people that have tomb situations with me all the time, conversations. I say, how you doing? I'm all right, even though I got to deal with this, even though I got to deal with that. Okay, why don't you talk about how good God is, that he gave you breath? Some people ain't here to deal with any problems, but you are. Some conversations are always the same. There are some people got tomb conversations when it comes to money. First thing out of their mouth, man, I need this. Okay, you need Jesus. Same Jesus that gave me my blessing can give you yours. Where's your faith at? So you need Jesus. So there are some people in tomb situations when it comes to doing the same thing. Going to work, come home, watch TV, go to work, come home, will not do anything different. They're in a tomb of a situation. God never meant for you to be stuck in one situation. He's always meant for you to elevation, but you have to walk. You're not going to always see the hand of God immediately, but you got to hear the word of God. The Bible says, how can you hear without a preacher? You got to hear. You got to meditate on his word day in and day out. You got to know the word. You got to believe the word. You got to live the word. You got to eat the word. You got to breathe the word. You got to constantly study so that you will have faith in the word, even though you don't see the results immediately. But you got to believe those things as they were, if they already are. You got to have faith, but you got to have faith in the word. Lazarus kept moving even though he couldn't see Jesus. Lazarus couldn't even see. Lazarus, when he woke up, didn't even know he was in the tomb. Whoa, now I'm about to get into something now. How many people have woken up and don't even know where they are? How many people have gone through their lives doing the same exact thing and wake up one day and say, how did I get here? I was just a young man or just a young woman with all these dreams and admirations. I had the world ahead of me, and now I'm 40-something, 40, I gonna say the name, 40-something, 50-something. How did I get here? Why am I still doing the same thing at 50 that I did at 20? I seen the most ridiculous thing in the world yesterday. I seen a man with a silky gray hair with his pants hanging off his behind, walking around trying to talk slick. Man, you somebody's grandfather. That's a tomb of a situation, man. He out there trying to be cool. I don't want to be cool. I mean, well, I am cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm cool. But I'm not trying. Listen, I'm not out here. Your pants have down. You got gray hair. Out here talking about some what's up, what's going on, and come on, man. Tomb of a situation. There are some people that smokers. There's some people that's eating a tomb of a situation. And what do I mean by a tomb of a situation? It's killing you. There are people smoking cigarettes that's killing them. There are people that's drinking that's killing them. Even though they can handle it, still killing. There are people that's eating. I was eating to death until I had my surgery April the 12th. I was eating myself to death. I created, my food became my tomb of a situation. So the question is, what have you made your tomb? And that's something that's killing you and keeping you locked up. That's the question you got to ask yourself today. Because Jesus is calling you. Keep walking. So you're stagnated. And when you're stagnated in a position or a place that you cannot move, it becomes your tomb. Today, people of God, recognize that Jesus is calling you. Recognize that you're in a tomb and you got to keep moving. You got to keep pressing forward. Unforgiveness is another tomb. Because if you unforgive, you don't forgive somebody, then God can answer your prayers to forgive you, and you're stuck in a tomb of a situation. You got to have faith to keep moving. You ain't got to see where you're going. You just got to hear where you're going and whom you're going to. Not see where you're going. Just if you hear the voice, because if you know it's Jesus calling you and he resurrects you, he's going to bring you somewhere safe. You have to know that God is calling you out of your tomb. I admire every business owner. Let me send a solution shout out to every business owner out there, because I admire you because you have come out of the tomb, because you are working for you. You have come out of the tomb of a place where somebody dictates to you what you make. Somebody dictates to you what you do. Somebody dictates to you everything. Even though you're not laboring for you're not laboring for your fruit, but you are the fruit of your labor. Oh, that's good. I like that one myself. So identify that you're in a tomb of a situation. Another tomb of a situation is we listening. There are some people will not listen. If you knew everything that you needed to know, you would be so much further than you know. I was blessed to learn a lot from the radio from a great producer that I have now, young lady Wanda B, who has he said, she said, let me send a shout out to her, who gave me the opportunity to be on the radio and taught me a lot of things, taught me how to do a lot of things that I didn't know. And took me out of a tomb of a situation, because I know that my heart was into radio. You got to identify your tomb situation, and you have to identify where you stuck in. Now, let me give you some solutions about how to keep walking and getting out of tomb. The first solution is not to be afraid to leave anybody. Not to be afraid to leave anybody, and not to be afraid to leave a tomb of a situation. I'm sorry, I love you, but this is a graveyard situation. This is a tomb situation. I have to leave. Another way you keep walking towards Jesus is with the word of God. Meditate on the word of God daily. Dedicate time daily that is just you and God and his word, and you're reading constantly every single day. That is a solution for getting out of the tomb, because now you hear God. Another thing, get out of the financial tomb by learning to save money. Learning how to invest, learning how to save money. but also being able to take chances. Sometimes we hold on our stuff so tight that we bury it and it does no good. What good is it to have money that's laying in a tomb? What good is it to be a diamond that nobody see? What good is it to be rich and still eating sardines and potty meat? What good is it if you don't take chances? Sometimes in life, you got to jump. Sometimes in life, you got to take a chance that you normally wouldn't take because you know that Jesus is calling you and you can't see where you're going. Where you're going, you might not see where you land, but if you never jump, you never go, you never try, you will always be in a tomb of a situation of the same place and regret. And one thing about me and people that know me, I will try because I would rather fail with no regret than try with tons of regret. It is a weight on you. There are so many people I hear every day. If I would have done that, I should have done this. I could have done that. Okay, you could do it now. Identify what's keeping you in the tomb. Another solution for getting out of the tomb. Another solution, and this is I say one of the things that I had to learn the hard way about getting out of a tomb is that I had to learn to die myself. Paul said that he died daily. I was one of the most strongest, headstrong people you ever meet in my life. You couldn't tell me nothing. And I was like, and I kept saying that God is going to do this for me and God going to do that for me and my time is coming. But it wasn't until I realized that God was waiting on me and I had to die within myself that my life started to be resurrected. When I was on the operating table and they strapped me down, I had to die within myself. And as Jesus started to resurrect me, then I started to realize that God has set me free. You know, he set me free and I had to die. I had to die. Forget my agenda. There's a saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. Tell him your story. Tell him what you want to do. You want to make him laugh because he's already designated what you're going to do. He's already gave angels charge over your life. So I had to die within myself, and that was the hardest thing for me to do because I would always say, God, you do it, but I'm going to try to find a way to do it myself. I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to, forget that I know I can do it. And as soon as God give me a leeway, I try to jump back and take control. And that's what's happening a lot of times. People, the minute that God moves something, opens something in your life, you feel like you got to take control of it. There are some people that God is giving you in your life that he has to cultivate them. But the minute he moved them high, it is not your way. It is not in your place to take over that person. You cannot ask God to bless you and take the how is his business, not yours. Your job is to do what he required, but the how is always here. So I had to die within myself. I had to die within myself. Another thing another solution that you have to do is you have to realize where you are. You have to realize where you are because believe me, when Lazarus was set free and he went home and he said, take him home, he knew he was out of the tomb. You have to realize when God has set you free, and you have to realize when you're out of the tomb. When God sets you free and tell you to go, you have to leave the tomb behind. I don't care what place that is. I don't care what person that is. I don't care what group that is. You cannot go back in the tomb. You cannot go back in the tomb. I want to share a story with you guys. There was a young lady that was one of my supervisors years ago when I worked down in the Hyatt Center. And she gave me a dream, and God gave me the meaning immediately what the dream was. In the dream, I was in her dream. And in the dream, she was in a burning house. She was in a burning house, and I was asleep on the couch. And she's in a burning house, and the house burning all around her. And she said, why is he sleeping and the house is burning? So she woke me up and she said, listen, the house on fire. I said, okay, follow me. We're going to get at the house. So I led her outside the house. When I led her outside the house, we outside talking, and she started looking at the burning house. But I never turned around and looked at the burning house. I'm starting talking to her like, how's things going and how you been and how's everything and everything. And she was like, basically like, do you see this burning house? Want to talk about this burning house? So she turned around and looked back at the house again, and I disappeared. And she said, I didn't understand that. And I told her what God gave me. I said, in that dream, I represented God. He wasn't worrying about the house burning down. He didn't want to worry about anything that happened because he was in the house with you. And when you decided to wake him up in your situation, he led you out of the burning house. And as soon as you took your eyes off of him and to go look back in the house, he disappeared. Because instead of worrying about the person that saved you, you're more worried about the house. And see, when I told her, what he told you was, I didn't bought you out of that house. I'm not going back in there with you. So if you go back in there, this time you're going to burn up. The more, what I'm trying to tell you, people of God, that God has bought you and he set you free. He's bought you out of the tomb situation because you walked out of it. Now he set you free. You have to keep walking. You cannot go back and live in the tomb. But here's another thing about that I want you to learn an example of Jesus. Jesus was a shifter. And because we have God, we are shifters. We don't have to accept any place or anything. When I'm at work, everybody say I'm the class. I'm like the work clown. I like to make everybody laugh because you know why? I affect my atmosphere. Therefore, I go and shift it. That's why people can be cussing. I can walk in the door and they be, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Or they can see me because I'm a shifter. Jesus never worried about what state Lazarus was in when he raised him. He said, even though he was dead for 4 days, and a lot of times when Jesus is calling you, especially a lot of times the church folks and the people that say, be like, well, he been in there that long. Well, he been on drugs all that long. It don't matter. When Jesus set you free, you will see no residual from that. You won't even know you were in the flame. You won't even smell like smoke. So the thing that I'm trying to get to you is that you have to shift your situation. You have to not worry about what is happening. You're not worried about the odds, because I grew up with a family who made miracles out of little money. So you have to be able to shift your atmosphere. And so much is important with your attitude. Your attitude stops, hinders, or it blesses you or propels you. But it's your attitude. Years ago, I used to drive for a paratransit place. And I was assigned to a gentleman all day, and he was, he had cancer. He had terminal cancer, and they was throwing a party for him because they know he had a few more weeks to die. And when he told me his story, I started to tear up. He said, "Young man, why are you crying?" And he said, I said, "I hate to see that you're gonna die." And he said, "Son, I've accepted it." He said, "I have Jesus," but he said, I've lived to 80 some years old. Nobody's going to be fighting over my funeral money. I paid for my funeral. I've given everybody their money up front. I've seen their face when I gave it to them because I can't see their face when I'm laying down there. So I seen everybody. I did. He said, "I got the biggest steak. I got some cognac, and I got the biggest cigar." And my daughter was like, "Well, you shouldn't do that because, you got to take care of yourself." He said, "Baby, I'm already gone and I've already accepted that. But I'm going to enjoy my last 2 weeks partying like it was 1999. And he changed my spirit because his attitude was, "Okay, Lord, I accept your will. And whatever it is you have for me to do, or whatever you want to do, I accept it." And so much of attitude can change your situation. I might be in it, but I'm not of it. I might be down, but I'm not out. And if I can look up, I can get up and I can keep walking. People of God, you got to keep moving. And again, let me send a shout out to let everyone know that we're looking for sponsors. Again, you can follow me, Minister Corey Wright, on Instagram, Corey Joseph Wright on Twitter. You can also Facebook me, and you can also go to the website, Corey Wright, wixsite.com/my site. And again, let me give a great shout out, great thank you, warm welcome to Matika Morgan for Era 16. Amazing clothes. She designed this shirt. I'm wearing it. I look like I'm buff. I'm swole. Ladies, you can, when you look at me, try not to, be like, oh my goodness. But I just want to send a shout out to them. Again, always understand that on this platform, we offer solutions and we encourage the entrepreneurs, because you know what? If tomorrow's going to be better, you have to make it. It's up to you to walk out of tune. So let me finish up because, my time is flying. This is the fastest hour I've ever seen in my life. I feel like speed racing, but I thank God for it. I got to work tonight. So when I get off from here, I got to go to work tonight. Let me send a shout out to everybody in the 911 Center at Midway. I know you guys probably watching, so I just want to send. And then on 911 at O'Hare, my man Rich Urbanati watching, one of my supervisors, an amazing guy, awesome personality, man. So I just want to let you know, Solution send out shout out to you. Let me finish up. You got to keep moving. Jesus call your name. Just because you can't see where you're going, go to the voice. Hear the voice of God and go to it. And I guarantee you will be set free. You got to keep going. You have to make up in your mind today, people. You're not promised tomorrow. You got to make up in your mind today, I'm going to change. I'm going to walk out of that tomb. And believe me, as you keep walking to God, you will get easier. He's calling you. He's already made provisions for your lead. You just got to keep walking. You got to keep walking. So I just want to, I pray that the word encourage someone. I pray that it reaches who it should reach. And I want to say, as always, excuses. No more excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothing. Again, the change is yours. The change is yours. You have to get up and make it. You have to be your own solution. You have to be your own fire. You have to encourage yourself. But you got to know that God is calling you. You got to get out of that tomb. You have to realize you're in the tomb and you got to keep walking. Again, wherever you have to leave, you do it. Whatever you have to do. But remember, change is in your hands. You got the power to change. You have to check yourself. And then once you check yourself, you become a part of Keys. And that's Keys to Change. Solution love you. Tune in tomorrow for the Fire Tamar, one of the greatest spoken word artists. Tamar, speak your soul. We love you. Remember, only you can do what only you can do it. Change your life today. God bless.
You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. So people get ready for the train to glory, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board them. There's room for all among the love of most. Hallelujah. Get on board. Get on board. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner. Just the same.